All right. Well, I always like to start a session by rolling a d4 or however many people are in the adventuring party. And the result of the d4 tells me who I'm going to ask to do a recap of the previous session's events. So, having started off with a natural 1,
Good start.
Aramis, would you go ahead and give us a
Not a good
recap
start.
of the first session?
You look so excited about this.
Always. Okay, so just kind of skip over each of our individual intros. We all met up in Adventuring Tavern and took a job to investigate something left behind in the will of a not quite a noble, an influential figure. Who wrote his name down. I know I did. Creed Perch. And so his son Danvin gave us his notebooks, and we tracked down some information, talked to his former employer and the owner of the tavern he used to frequent. Turns out he had a love of his life named Nira, who he rarely talked about, except when he was super drunk. And so, following some other leads from his notebooks, we started making our way up into the mountains to seek out Redgagger, a dwarf architect that he had apparently been working with to build a chamber of some sort.
And someone exploded a train track.
Yeah, that too.
There was that little thing.
Yeah, no big deal. Also, there's trains.
Yeah. The lightning rail, it's not a train.
What are the key differences between the
Those
lightning
are-
rail and a train?
Train doesn't sound as cool.
Magic.
That's valid.
Okay.
DM's answer to every sarcastic question ever. All right. And so we pick up.
Not yet.
As you guys have just questioned Danvin Perch a little bit further about his life story and have decided to make your way up the Nanda River to into the mountains in search of the mines where you are hoping to find this Foreman Redgagger and question him. And so you found out you got key information from Stinky, who gave you directions to where you could ask around, and you figure you're probably going to be traveling most of the day to get to the location that he described. And so you head out through the northern city gate, and you I mean there's a very clear well-trodden path heading along the Nanda River up into the woods and into the foothills of the mountains. And as you sort of look ahead up the path, you can see you're kind of the Nida River kind of splits um, several it runs between several mountains, and you're kind of coming up. You get a good view of the shoulders of these mountains, um, and as you're trekking along, you get about an hour or so along this path, and you find the spot where Stinky described that the path turns off to the east, um, and or at least one path turns off to the east. The path continues on as well, but the particular path that he recommended that you follow heads to the east. And so, what would your conversation be like as you're kind of starting to get to know each other on the road here?
Guess as we're back on the road and out of the city, Cole would just kind of remark, "Ah, it's good to have some fresh air again. No offense to all y'all, but it's kind of crowded in there. Air smells pretty funny."
I was just feeling the same way. Like I said earlier, I've been feeling a little cooped up in the city. There's just been something pulling me, you know?
I like
Yes,
the city.
more comfortable in the wilds as well.
I haven't spent too much time in the wilds, I guess, in a while. It's been some time since I was out of the city for any long period.
Yeah. So what do you like so much about that big city there?
You're
Well, I
asking
mean,
me or who?
Yeah, Sivan.
I like the people, the anonymity. I like that there is always something to do.
Well, I guess that's true enough. Fewer people, but there's always a lot work to do out, out in the rest of the world too.
That is also very true.
I didn't like some of the looks I was getting, either a fright or like I was a threat.
That is fair.
to be fair, you look like a threat.
Well, that can't change the way I look.
Got any stories behind those scars?
Mostly animals, mostly things that were threatening me and my people, but a few blows from humans as well.
Your
Any
people, who are
interesting
they?
ones?
I'm sorry.
Any interesting ones? Did you fight any bears or sharks?
So Aldun will pull out a owl bear necklace from under his hide shirt. This is my prized possession. This is what cost me my eye.
That sounds like an interesting story.
It
If you don't mind sharing it.
I don't mind. We hunted it for 2 days. Eventually brought it back to a cave it was sheltering in. It had been raiding my people for a while, and I decided to approach it on my own. Approach it first, and it took my eye, but I took its life and ended the threat.
That's a bit intense.
Good for you. Not for your eye, but for you in general.
So, who exactly are your people?
Well, we were a small band of hunters and warriors in Laura. Uh, might be a conversation for another day. It's a bit of a sore point for me.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
No longer welcome there. And I no longer really much care to be there, to be honest.
We all have places we rather not be. Trust me.
Any reason why you might have wanted to be out of the city?
Just something's pulling me. I can't really explain it. It's like it's an itch in the back of my head, and the longer I sit there in between all those buildings and I'm not, somewhere else, the itchier it gets.
I can understand that. Don't like to be sitting still when there's stuff out there you can do.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I'm not sure.
Anyone ever do anything else besides adventure? An honest job, I guess.
Oh, an honest job, no.
I was in the military for a stint as a scout, but as you can tell, not exactly a lifer there.
Well, I was and kind of still am just a farmer. Then, I don't know, got caught up in some kind of magic, whatever you want to call it. And now I figured this will be safer until I can figure out how to do all this. So I don't hurt nobody or burn the barn down.
Can respect that. So how did you you say this is new to you? What do you mean by that?
Well, it's out in the market, selling some of my family's goods, me and a few of my brothers, and I stepped away to, look at some new equipment, get some better stuff, and then I don't know, saw a strange man, and all of a sudden there was just this force, something behind me that pushed me down, and I blacked out and woke up, and I was on fire, and a lot of other stuff was on fire too.
Fire.
And now, and he reaches into his bag and just pulls out a torch and it just lights in his hand. That just kind of happens now.
Impressive.
I guess so.
Yeah, that must be very disorienting to have some power that you've never had before.
But starting to get the hang of it at least a little bit.
Magic.
That's good.
Magic users were celebrated among my people. Are you welcome back at your farm, back at home?
To be honest, I don't know. Haven't gone back yet. It's only been a couple days since it happened.
Oh,
But yeah, so I really don't have the hang of it, and so don't want to do much experimenting among the barn and hay. The flammable
well,
stuff.
why ever not?
Get the sense you're being rhetorical there.
Good for you.
As you are making your way along the path, you've now cut off east away from the Nanda and you see a group of dwarves, most of them heavily armed, and they have a strange looking wagon that they're pushing along with them. Strange in that the way that the way that it's built, the bottom of the carriage is well off the ground. It's a good 2 feet up off the ground, and this this wagon is a good 6-8 feet long, and it is crammed full. You can't see of what. There's like a piece of canvas that it has been pulled over top of whatever is in there, and it's all tied down very tightly and secured. They all just kind of eye you warily as they go, and they're coming in the opposite direction that you are, so they're not saying anything. They'll just pass by if you don't react.
Cole just kind of stares curiously at the floating cart, but then gives the driver a nod and keeps walking.
It's not floating. It's just that the wheels are very tall.
Okay.
So the bottom of the wagon itself is up off the ground, but the wheels are rolling on the ground.
Gotcha.
Spaklu will sort of wave and go to whoever's driving the cart and say, how's it going? Any news from the north?
He just kind of nods and continues walking.
Huh. Not the friendliest fellow.
What about their whole thing give you the impression that they would be friendly?
I try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt before I make any judgments.
Hmm.
Are you men coming from the mines?
One of them just kind of turns and sizes you all up, and yes.
We don't mean any trouble, but we're looking to speak with a foreman, someone who may be in charge at the mines or in your party, a dwarf named Redgagar.
Roll me a persuasion check, Alden. See how you're coming across to them. Also, I don't know if you know, but your video is not on.
Oof.
No, just absentmindedly draws his great sword and just kind of
Runs at them.
oops, I tripped.
I actually have a logistics question. Since we are recording this, do you want us to say our rolls when we roll them?
That's probably a good idea, actually. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's 2 in my perspective.
A big fat 2. So yeah, the same one that said yes, they were coming from the mine, just kind of openly gestures down the path that you're walking down, and then turns and breaks eye contact and just continues walking along.
Yes, very friendly.
What do you think they have in that cart?
Well, if they're coming from the mines, then probably rocks of some sort.
Not a bad guess.
Or maybe it's people. I don't know. Whatever
Are
it
they
is, they
all,
don't want anyone seeing it.
Are they dead people? Didn't
I
seem
don't
like it
know.
was
I can't
fervent.
tell. Maybe they're dead. Maybe they are subdued. Maybe they are hiding and they are smuggling themselves into the city.
Do
Well,
y'all run into many carts of unconscious people around here?
Around here, no. But it never hurts to be wary.
Are we just gonna let them go?
Yeah, seems like they got delivers to make.
Do you want to ambush them? Take what they have?
I'm not. I'm not necessarily the type that would do that.
Okay, just thought I would offer.
Are they wearing anything that would remind us of the people who blew up the train in town?
I mean, the dwarf that you saw that blew up the train tracks. I mean, he didn't have any special anything special on. He wasn't even wearing like armor. These dwarves are heavily armed and armored. They look like muscle. I mean, they're clearly ready to defend themselves if necessary. Nothing particularly reminds you of that dwarf by the train tracks now. Excuse me, by the lightning rails. Now you got me saying it.
All right, well, onwards.
They would consider us, at least maybe we can follow their trail.
You're cutting out.
If they wouldn't talk to us, at least maybe we can follow a trail that they might have left.
That is true.
Yeah, and you're on a trail that's pretty clearly marked. It is not like, it's not paved and it's not as well worn as like the path that was going along the river. But this clearly has been walked, and even you see cart tracks from before. Oh, that's good. Yeah, so it's not hard to follow where they came from. And so it's out, a few more hours of trudging along. I assume you would probably take breaks here and there, but eventually you come to where a spot where it looks like you've got a choice. So the trail that you're on kind of splits off, and one part of the trail goes to what looks to be just like a hole in the mountain, and literally goes into this hole, whereas the other part of the trail kind of heads off, and it looks like it's heading up into and over, or up to the top of the mountain. You can kind of look up and see where it kind of switches back and forth as it slowly snakes its way up the mountain.
And we hadn't gotten any directions from, from that previous fork or anything. That's the only directions we got.
Yeah, he had said that where you're headed is over on the other side of this mountain, but he did not he did not give you any specific directions about how to get there.
Could we see where that cart would have come from? Which path?
Make a perception check.
20.
You do spot some what will look to be wheel tracks. It's not constant that you see these tracks. There's some spots where it's more obvious than others, but you do spot tracks from the wheels of some cart heading up the path that goes to the top of the mountain.
Well, looks like our friends, or at least some cart of some sort, came down from the top of the mountain.
But don't you want to know what is inside?
Not particularly.
Oh,
It's all rainbows and lollipops.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, if we're trying to get to the other side of the mountain, it's either go under or go over. So seems like a good lead as any.
I think follow the tracks.
Yeah, and I'd say go over. Worst case, the trail hits a dead end and we can make our way around. But if we go under, it might be caved in, or I don't know. Could get all kinds of lost.
Okay. Over it is.
All right, so you you begin making your way up into the mountain, and as you go along, you do find spots where there are actually steeper sections of the trail, which have had steps cut into them, and in those areas where you find those, you do see that there's like a groove cut, one on each side of the stairs, and you get the impression that basically that's what those carts are built for, to be able to pull them up and down these stairs. So you are making your way along, and you have just kind of come to the top of a set of stairs, and the trail continues on ahead of you, but there's also like a slight switchback to your right, where kind of it leads to like a drop off. And as you all come to the top of the stairs, you hear a sound coming off from the right there, and strangely enough, it's musical. You hear like a and it is actually beautiful, far more beautiful than even my deep voice can
Not possible.
conjure. Yes, I know, it's hard to believe. But I need you all to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Yay. 5, a 9.
I'm finding it. Hold on. I clicked it twice, but 17.
Okay.
Aldum rolled a 2.
Sipaku rolled a 9.
Oh man, y'all are not very wise.
And Cole got a 5.
Yep.
Wow. All right.
Great,
So
guys.
TPK.
just double check the DC on this. Pretty sure a 5, a 9, and a 2 don't cut it.
But it's just a bunch of dwarves doing a drinking song, right? So we're fine.
Exactly.
Right. So, Sivan, you watch as Cole, Supaklu, and Aldum all just kind of go glassy-eyed, and suddenly they, well, let me show you what we're talking about
Oh dear.
here. So you're all at the top of these stairs, and you can rearrange yourself there as you would like. But I mean, it's clear that this is the way that you would continue on up the path. But Cole and Aldum and Sipaklu all just turn and head off in this direction toward the sound. And we're going to now roll initiative. So if you would click your token before you roll it, that way we know, or it will automatically track. Yeah, it'll track you in the turn order.
6. We're doing good.
Can we get a 7?
No, we cannot.
4, 5, 6.
And
brother.
that work? Oh, there we go. Oh, 19.
There we go.
So close.
Oof.
So, Sapaklu, you turn right, and you are. What is your speed? I assume it's 30.
Yeah, 30 feet.
Okay, so you 5, 10, 15, 20. You you get to there. You are just about to topple over the edge. And Sivan, it is your turn.
Very eventful turn on my part.
Let me see what I even have to do.
I will say, excuse me, make an intelligence check.
Okay.
Or it can be history if you happen to have that. Okay, 16. You have heard of magical creatures which have the ability to charm their prey and lead them to basically lure them off of paths, and this can be a hunting mechanism.
Muted myself by accident. Okay, I am going to run after him. Try and no, I'm going to slap him across the face to try and snap him out of it.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll. This would be an unarmed strike, so it would be d20 plus your strength. So it would be a strength check plus your proficiency of 2.
Okay. I don't really know how I would do that, so I'm just gonna roll strength.
If you just roll a strength check, we can add
Okay,
2.
so 17 plus 2, 19.
So you come up and you grab Sipaklu and just wrench his shoulder back and whack right across the cheek.
Ow.
And I believe nothing happens.
Okay. I tried.
Nope. Wait a minute. Make a wisdom saving throw. Sipaklu.
All right, I can do that.
You get to make a check.
I can't do that. I got an 8.
Damn it.
Yeah, he continues to just seems completely unaffected.
Can I keep a hold of him so he doesn't try to jump?
That would have to be a grapple check. That
Okay,
would take
so
an
never
action.
Okay. That
you
is my turn then.
I'll say you take 1 point of damage, Sipaklu, from the slap.
Ouch. As a level 1, that is not good.
Oh, that's true. I'm sorry, I didn't think about that. I forgot we are level 1. I'll heal you in a minute, it's fine.
Okay. Cole, you're up. And you also are going to make your way 30 feet. Oh, this is bad. Can't believe 3 of you failed it.
Yep.
10.
So yeah.
You also get just to the edge. You walk right by Sivan as she's mid slap with Sipaklu, and all of them 5 and 15, 20. We'll say you're like trying to make your way past Sivan to get to the edge, very politely excusing yourself. And Sipaklu, you continue to walk, completely ignoring the edge that's there.
Cool.
And you fall 20 feet.
Ouch.
You take 7 points of damage.
Oh, shit.
Roll an acrobatics check to see if you fall prone.
Ooh. Let's see. That is a 19.
Yeah, you managed to kind of roll and get back to your feet. And make a wisdom saving throw as well.
Of course. An 11.
11. That just succeeds.
Oh, that's exciting. I imagine the fall was a little shocking, considering I'm now
Yes.
like sitting there with like my legs broken.
And speaking of shocking, as you kind of catch yourself on the ground there, you look up and see maybe 5 feet above you, um, Sepaklu, you see this horrific looking woman with this scraggly black hair and filthy giant wings, holding her, hovering in the air. Bony hands come to these greasy, nasty claws, and you see that she's the one that is singing this song. And so it is her turn now. So
Good.
she is going to she is going to fly in and roll an attack at you. Let me get her on the map here.
That's a great picture.
Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it was the picture from her yearbook.
Normally
They
it's
really let you
rocks.
do whatever pose you want.
Normally it's rocks falling on us that causes TPK, not us falling on rocks.
I just thought I'd mix it up a little to add a little variety. I knew you guys would appreciate that.
This is how we fix the end of Game of Thrones, guys.
All right, so she's going to rake one giant claw across you. Does a 13 hit you?
Yeah, I'm AC 12.
So you take another 7 points of damage.
Okay, so since I am a half orc, rather than going down to 0 HP, I can be taken to 1 HP instead.
Oh, good.
So I'm gonna do that. So rather than being unconscious right now, I am toughing through it.
Okay. Well, she gets a second attack. As she also brings up, in the other hand, a large, nasty-looking club, and she swings that at you.
Oh,
Okay. I'm unconscious.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a nap, guys. The whole falling off a cliff thing is just taking it out of me.
Be right behind you, bud.
All right, Sivan, you are up.
So like an idiot, I didn't take healing word. So I didn't see any of this happen, right?
You saw him walk over, walk over the edge. If you wanted, you could get close enough that you could look down and see what's going on.
Okay. I will do that. I
Okay.
will
So
go
yeah,
to the edge
you
and see what is happening.
see this hideous half woman, half bird, just swarming all over Sipaklu at the bottom of this ravine.
And it's 20 feet.
20 feet down, yeah.
Does it look easy to climb down, or would I have to jump?
I would say, you could climb down. It would require athletics, so it would be at half your speed, your movement speed. So for you, you move at 30, right?
Yes.
So I'll say, if you
Like,
succeed
look
on
at
your
me.
athletics check, you can just get to the bottom. Say.
Okay. I don't think I will do that yet. I think instead I will Sacred Flame her and try
Okay.
and draw her attention away.
Okay. So she has to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yes.
Okay. She does not.
Hey,
So what
8
is what
radiant
is
damage.
yeah, so what does that look like?
Oh, not pressing my neck. I reach into a pouch on my waist. I pull out a symbol of the dove, which you have all seen. It is a symbol of Welena. And I thrust it out in front of me, and a streak of radiant flame goes streaking towards the whatever this person harpy is, and hits her straight in the face or the back of the head. I don't know which way she is facing, but her head.
Yeah, she's facing down at Sopaklu, so yeah, it catches her right in the back. Arches back. Ah! That definitely got her attention.
Nice.
So Cole, you
Yep.
you actually get to make a wisdom saving throw from the end of your previous turn. I forgot to have you do that.
Ooh. Hey.
Which you succeed.
Hey.
So you come to your senses, like just tottering on the edge of this cliff. You suddenly, like, your brain clears and you're like, whoa, what am I doing?
Okay, and did all of them also get that save?
Alden, go ahead and make your roll now. Yeah, okay, so he also succeeded.
Yay.
I feel like a real idiot now.
I even gave you an extra chance.
So would climbing down take my action for this?
If no, it would take your movement. It would be at half your movement speed. So again, it would take you all of your movement to get down to the bottom, assuming that you succeed on an athletics check. If you fail, then you'll be prone when you get to the bottom, and I'll say you'll lose your action.
Okay, with that in mind, I will just focus a minute and watch some flames start to spout from my fingertips and just throw a firebolt down at this creature.
Okay.
24.
In very similar fashion, that catches her. This time she's starting to turn, and as she does, she catches this one full in the front of her, and screams again in pain.
Cole just kind of winces and clutches his hand there.
Okay, Alden.
Aldum is going to throw a javelin at her and then try to use some of his movement to scramble down the cliff.
Okay, sorry. So yeah, go ahead and make your javelin attack.
I wonder if my computer is not working because I'm hitting the javelin. I think I hit it too many times.
Might be a connection thing. Could try refreshing roll 20.
Would you like me to trigger it for you?
I saw it pop up a few times, but sure, yeah, I am having connection issues on this end.
Okay. All right. So a 12 does hit. So Yeah, so you throw your javelin, and that also catches her for another 8 points of damage. Whew. And she's definitely looking bloody at this point. Still looks like she's got some fight left in her. But at the end of the round, she kind of turns and lets out a screech back toward the top of the mountain, and you see a second harpy here at the top here, kind of looking over this edge to see what's going on. And Sapaklu, I need you to make a death saving throw.
Death saving throw. Oh,
Perfect.
that's a natural 1.
So that is, you lose 2 death saves. That's 2 failures.
Well, that's good. It's always a positive, right?
Right. That's a good way to add some tension to the session.
That's a word
You
for
know, I'm
it.
looking to go to sleep early today, so actually that works out well. You know, you could just kill my character and then I can get to go to bed. It's perfect.
Was to scramble down the cliff at all?
Sorry, say that again.
Was I able to scramble down the side of the cliff?
Yeah. Sorry, if you wanted to move, you wanted to use your movement for that.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll say you're able to get to the bottom. Yeah. So you're right there next to Sapaklu if you want to be. Oh, sorry. I meant to have you roll an athletics check for that. That's right. Okay, yeah, that's just enough. You managed. You kind of about halfway down. You have one foot kind of slip, and so about half of the climb is more like scrabbling and trying not to completely fall flat, but you just managed to kind of coast to the bottom and not fall flat. Okay. And now it's the harpy's turn. So the one that was attacking Sapaklu is going to it is going to fly. She's going to fly up towards Sivan. So, Autumn, go ahead and make an attack of opportunity. Or she's flying away from you.
Hey.
Yeah, you as she is flying up, you see the opportunity, and you whip this great sword off your back, and in a single motion, out of the scabbard, it cuts across one of her wings, and she barely manages to keep herself in the air, but she kind of grits her teeth and keeps flying up. And she's going to make her 2 attacks against Sivan. So here's a claw attack, an 11.
Miss.
And a club 10.
Miss.
So her wing is kind of like half dragging behind her, and it's throwing off her swings, and so she's you can see you're getting a very close-up view now of, her face gritted in pain as she's trying mightily to attack you. Meanwhile, the one at the top going to swoop down and make attacks at Aldon, who's just landed down there. So there's a claw attack, 9, and a club for a 7. You manage to bring the great sword back and parry both of her blows as they come towards you.
Oh, sure. Now they miss.
Sivan, it is now your turn.
Okay, I am going to try and climb down. And as I do, I turn to the harpy and say, "You're not very good at this, are you?" And then I climb down.
And as you say that and you start to make your way down, she is going to claw at you. She's really not very good at this. With a 6.
See what I mean? You're really not good at this.
You duck out of the way and climb your way down. Go ahead and make an athletics check.
Okay.
And with that, as you're gluing to this harpy, your foot catches a root, and you just completely lose your footing and go sliding down. We'll say since you're sliding instead of falling, it's only 1d6 of damage.
Okay.
So you take 3 points of damage. However, you also do
Okay.
lose your action.
Okay.
In the process, and you're now prone at the bottom.
Excellent. I guess that's my turn.
Okay, Cole, save us all.
Well, I can burn him, but I don't think that'll heal him that much.
That's what I was trying to do.
Cole will pull out his quarterstaff, hold it in 2 hands, and take a swing at this big, ugly thing in front of him.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, that definitely hits.
7 bludgeoning.
With that crack, you catch her right in the side of the head. Yeah, that definitely hurt, but she's not dead yet.
And just to double check, despite the map, the other harpy is like 20 feet down?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what, Sivan? I think that you shouldn't lose your action. I think that
Okay.
taking the damage and falling prone should be enough. Yeah, I think you should go ahead and take your action.
Okay. Can I know I'm prone, but can I reach out and try and touch Supaklu and cure wounds?
Yeah. You're right next to him.
Great.
You're going easy on it, Andrew.
I know it looks like that, but honestly, it is too harsh for her to lose her action for that.
Also, we don't want to kill someone in the second second
I think
section.
that's more the
Just
fault
break
of the
character
dice
concept.
than anything else.
I mean, yeah, but cure wounds. 10.
All right, so Paklu, you come to, and you're definitely sore and hurting, but you're no longer unconscious.
Welcome back.
Ouch.
All right, Alden.
Aldum's gonna take a swing at the one that looks more damaged, the one that had taken some fire damage earlier with his great sword.
Okay. Well, sorry, the one that's taken more damage is actually up. It's floating up in the air toward the top of the cliff. It's really more like here. So you would have to climb back to the top to get to that one. So I assume that would go toward your strike would go toward the one that's right next to you.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. I thought they were both,
Yeah.
both right there. Okay. That's fine.
But yeah, so you've parried both of the blows of this one that just flew down to attack you. And with your second parry, you actually knock you actually hit her claws so hard that she kind of gets spun halfway around and then come back with your great sword and open a nasty gash across her back as she's facing away from you. 14 points of damage. Nice. Okay. So, Sapaklo, you are now up.
All right, I am going to use my movement to stand up. And then I am going to scream because I am very angry. And then as I scream, you can see that these spectral thorns start to wrap around my hand. And with that, I unleash this blast of just like energy at the harpy that was attacking me that's up in the air.
Yeah. Go for it. Eldritch Blast.
22.
Eldritch Blast.
Old reliable.
So that's the one at the top, right?
It does. What was that? Yeah, the one that was flying that did all the
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah, so she has just
9
taken
points of damage.
a swipe at Savan and missed. And as she goes to kind of scream out in frustration, your blast catches her right in the mouth and kind of knocks her back against the top of the cliff. She is looking really, really rough, but she's not out yet.
What?
They've been eating their Wheaties, apparently.
And she
That's it
is
for me.
going. Okay. So she is going to. I think she's going to follow after Sivan. I mean, I think that makes sense. So she's going to follow you down the cliffside, and you're prone. So these would both be at advantage.
Okay.
Would a 12 hit her as she flies away?
Yeah, actually, that would hit her. Yeah, so she goes to turn and fly back down to the bottom, and you catch her in the back. And Sivan, as you look up at her as she is flying down, she starts flying really fast, and she actually like just lands on you on the ground. She's now unconscious and dying.
Good.
And the other one is going to get herself turned back around and make 2 more attacks against Uldum with a 6 and a 7. Wow, she is just all kinds of messed up and just cannot get.
She's really
her
upset about her
claws on you.
friend.
Yeah, apparently so. Okay, Savan, you are up.
I am going to push the harpy off of me and stand up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to. What am I going to do? I'm probably going to sacred flame the other harpy.
Okay. 6 is not going to cut it, so 4 points
So
of damage.
4 radiant damage. And yeah, that's it.
Okay.
No, as a free action, I am going to spit on a dead harpy because I can.
Go for it. All right. Cole.
All right. I kind of looked down, kind of surprised that I was able to knock out that creature, then notice the other one, and my left hand pull up another ball of flame and shoot it with a firebolt. 11.
11 just hits.
Okay. 6 fire damage.
6 points of damage. Okay. Aldum.
Aldum's gonna laugh in this harpy's face that keeps missing him, and he's going to try to punch her to death. Unarmed strike.
Unarmed. Okay.
Why not?
Who needs a sword? 20 will do it.
Nice.
Yeah, once again, as she misses, you take advantage of it and just with a swift punch right to her face, you feel some bones in her nose cracking, and blood starts to just pour out. All right, Svaklu. You're muted. Svaklu,
I
Ken, you're
can't
muted.
hear you. You looked very descriptive, though.
Nope.
Oh, there's a button on my
There we
Ah.
go.
Oh,
There it is.
and I didn't know it existed. Okay. All right. There's a mute button on my headset, guys. This is actually
Good to know.
way easier than clicking it on Discord. Okay. So, Supaklu, I'm going to shake my hands and sort of like, something doesn't feel right with what just happened. So I'm going to pull my crossbow off of my belt and I'm going to fire a bolt at the harpy.
Okay.
It's a 12 to hit.
12 will hit. So she takes another 7 points of damage.
And then if there's room for me to back up a little bit, I'll back up.
Yeah, you can back kind of against the far wall, that sort of canyon there. Okay. The harpy, in tremendous amounts of pain with blood pouring down her, is going to try to fly away. So, Alden, go ahead and take your attack of opportunity. 22 hits. How do you want to do this? Go ahead and describe your killing blow on this harpy, Alden.
I think as she flies away, I'm going to take a broad swipe, kind of in the air, basically just cut it in half at the waist.
ooh.
Yeah, and so she turns and the two pieces of her fall to the ground in front of you, and there's just blood and kind of gore all over the ground right at your feet, basically. And we are out of combat. Whew.
Well, that is a fun way to start a day, and I'm going to tuck my little holy symbol
You-
back into the pouch.
Yeah, maybe for you. Oh,
y'all all right down there?
little sore.
You'll get over it.
I guess I have to.
Hold on. And I'll reach into my explorer's pack and pull out the 50 feet of rope and toss 25 feet of it down there for them to climb back up.
You had this the whole time.
Yeah. Things happen pretty quick, though.
That's fair, I guess. I will climb back up.
I'm gonna grab I'm gonna cut off a harpy wing, one that looks undamaged, and take it as a trophy. And then I'll climb up as well.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
do they
Where
have
are you
anything
going
on
to
them?
put that?
Yeah, so this wing is pretty big. Like, let me show you. What's the best way to do this? I think I can do this. Nope, that didn't show that. Hang on. I'll paste it over in Discord. The full picture, but the
Should just leave it
wing
like
is
this all
like.
night.
What's that?
I said you just leave Roll20 like this all night. I think it's perfect.
Like what?
Oh,
with
all we can
with the
see is the
harpies
token.
choking up.
Oh, you still see that?
Yeah.
Oh,
You just need to click
It
out of it.
stays up until we
yeah,
click
yeah,
on
you
something else.
Click out of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's a picture in Discord of the full body shot of the harpy, and so the wing is like the size of it, just about. So you can carry it, but you don't have anything, like it wouldn't fit in your pack. But you're welcome to carry it if you'd like.
Make a cloak out of it or something.
I guess I'll
Sorry.
realize unpractical this is, and I'll just take a handful of feathers.
All right.
Can I check to see if they have anything on them?
They do not have anything on pockets or any clothing of any type. You gather if they had any sort of loot or something, it would probably be back in like a nest, or assuming that they had nests of some sort, that would probably be where they would keep it.
Can I look around and make sure there are no other harpies coming?
Make a perception check.
Okay. Perception. 14.
So you take a look around. You kind of stop and listen and scan the cliffs and such. Nothing at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, then I will climb back up the cliff.
Yeah, I'll climb up the rope as well.
Okay. Yeah, you guys can get back to the top fairly easily. When you're not in the heat of combat.
Well, this is obviously not the way we want to be going. Do we want to continue along the actual path instead of walking off cliffs?
Yeah, let's get as far away from here as possible.
Yeah,
Great.
I don't know what happened there. That was. I never seen those before.
They are not fun to encounter, as I am sure you have gathered.
Seems that way.
Maybe
Alright.
this is why they were traveling in armed groups, escorting those carts.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Oh, just sort of rotate my arm a little bit, make sure everything's in the right place.
All right. And with that, we're just about to 8:30. So why don't we go ahead and take our, and then we will pick up right there.
Great.
We'll come back in about 5 minutes.
All right.
So Derillium, I was just looking back at the LMOP chat and
Mm-hmm.
just reading back the conversation, and I was reading the comments that you wrote, and in my head they came across in Sivan's accent.
What did I write? I don't even remember.
It
That
was
last one?
well, yeah. Part of it you were. Oh, part of it's from last Thursday. But you're like, "Ah, I can provide you some. I can provide you some resources on accents if you really want."
Oh yeah. Zahava's accent is actually an English accent. Yeah, I took a bunch of, well, I studied acting in college and I'm going to continue studying acting in grad school. So I took 3 years of voice and speech and we focused a lot on accents. So I've got like, I have a bunch of resources that I can share with people.
Nice, very cool.
I'm not very good at all of them, but I can try.
Yeah.
Certainly far better than I am.
I actually find accents really fascinating.
Hmm.
I have like a thing for linguistics as well. And just the different sound changes and the way it relates to like someone's native language, I think is really interesting.
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah. Ever get those like notifications on Facebook that are like, this is, you have memories from however many years ago?
Hmm. Yeah.
And I get them and I look back at what I was doing in high school and I'm just like, that happened. That occurred in my life.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty angsty.
See, I don't get notifications from Facebook about what happened. Facebook didn't exist when I was in high school. Or if it did, it was not much of a thing.
Mhm.
It's all about MySpace or MSN chat.
AIM.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I remember that one. I was on MySpace, but I was 10, so I didn't belong there.
All right. Tony, you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Can you see me on video?
Nope.
I cannot. No.
Let me try reconnecting. Yeah, still can't see you. And now I can't see Andrew either. Oh no.
Oh
Uh-oh.
no.
I can still see Andrew.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can
think
see
still
everyone
here.
but Tony. So,
Oh,
Yeah, we did lose you though, Aramis.
oh,
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm
you-
using the tin camera on my laptop. Actually, I see the picture in Roll20. I don't see anyone else's video, actually, just my own.
interesting.
Hmm. Um.
Okay, I see Cole. Well, I saw him for a few seconds.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it's my internet. It's kind of stormy here as well, and it's hotel Wi-Fi.
Can you
Yeah.
see
Okay,
me
could
now?
you guys give me like 1 second? I will be right back.
Yeah, I
Sure.
think
No, I still don't see you, Aramis.
So, hold on.
huh. Okay, so I just relogged in to my Roll20 to see if Tony would pop up, but now I don't see you, Andrew, and I do see Aramis.
Oh, I just lost Ken too.
Just reload your page. I think it'll fix that because that's what I just did.
Dang it, Anthony.
It's all your fault. You and your hotel Wi-Fi.
And I pay so much for internet too. Okay,
Oh,
I
there
see.
you go. I see you.
Oh, hey.
Hey, there you are.
Still don't see Andrew though.
Are you done?
I think Roll20 is just being dumb.
As always.
That seems likely.
We'll cut this out in post.
Okay.
It'll be like it
All
never
right.
even happened.
What never happened? I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
I mean, I wasn't here for it, so.
No, we're just talking about the video connection issues.
Oh, yes. Hi. I can see you.
Can you see Andrew too? Can you see everyone?
I cannot see Andrew now.
Okay.
Oh, you
yeah.
can't?
No,
That's
we still
interesting.
can't see you.
I see Derillium and Tony, but not Ken or Aramis.
The Andrew. I don't know.
Try refreshing your page, I guess.
I
Try
just did
refreshing
that.
mine again.
Huh.
We're just being hosted on different servers. We're being hosted on the hotel Wi-Fi. Oh wait, now I can see Andrew. Oh, I got everyone.
Hey.
I lost Ken.
All right, so you
Still
just need
no
to
Andrew.
refresh
No
your
Andrew.
page. So now you
It's
guys
like,
just refresh.
it's like
your page.
whack-a-mole.
Hey.
Wait,
So
there's
I hit
Aramis.
reconnect in the settings.
Oh yeah, that's probably good.
So
I can see
think I'm
everyone
going back up.
I can see everyone but Ken.
Killing me, Andrew.
I'm
We
gonna
tried.
refresh.
Yes, I almost did.
Oh, now I can't see Andrew. Oh no, okay.
Yeah, I just
Now I can't see
reconnected.
Tony. Okay, now it's back
Okay,
to the thing
still
where I
can't
can
see
everyone
Andrew,
but
but I can
Tony.
see everyone else.
I don't think this is gonna work.
You can
All
only
right,
see
well,
4 people at a time.
yeah. Let's just press on here.
Good enough.
At least we can hear each other. I'll settle for that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. There's Tony.
But still no Derillium.
Nope.
No? No me?
No,
No.
you.
That's such a shame.
We've definitely had 4 people, like 5 people, on video at the same time before, right?
It has
Yeah,
a-
I had
oh,
that. Okay.
hey.
Yay! We did it.
Nobody touch anything.
No rolling or anything.
I'll run upstairs, get my physical dice. I
Let
bought
everybody hear.
like one of those tiny, tiny little sets that they're like this big, and it's so cute.
Oh.
And except I very rarely play in person anymore, so I'm gonna have to wait
Hmm.
until like July to use it. Very sad.
Just need to get a mouse to play with, and then the mouse can roll those tiny dice.
I'll have my dog do it.
There you go.
Play
All
D&D.
right.
Dungeons and Doggies. I mean,
That's a thing.
it's happening. It's a thing,
Yeah.
which I will be playing in July.
All right, let's move onward. So, whew, that's going to be a big section to cut out, Ken.
That's fine.
So, you all press onward down the trail. And it takes a couple more. Essentially, you get to the top of this mountain and then go back down the other side. You get to the base of the mountain and the trail continues on. And so essentially at the base of the next mountain is where you see the trail heads into another just cave opening in the side of the mountain, much like the one that you passed by. But this time there's no secondary path that kind of winds up into the mountain. And outside, outside this cave opening, you see two dwarves in full armor and weapons at the ready, looking armed very similarly to the ones that you passed on the trail earlier. And they seem to be just standing watch outside this cave opening.
I think this is our destination.
It would
Seems like
seem
it.
so.
And we'll all approach.
Yeah, I'm not
Uh,
sure I can sweet talk them into letting us in. Not the best at that.
Neither am I. I can certainly try, though.
I can talk to him. I don't know how well it'll go considering my luck today, but I mean, worth a try.
Perhaps you've used all of your bad luck, and all that is left is the good luck.
I guess we'll see. All right, so I'm going to approach at the front of the party.
Okay. And as you do, they their hands go to their weapons. They're not drawing yet. But what are you lot doing here then?
Hello, we're just travelers looking for a certain person, and we heard he might be here.
Who would that be?
Red Gagger, Red Gagar, Red something.
Red
I think it was
something,
Red
eh?
Dagger.
And what
Red
is your
Gagger.
business with this red something?
Well, we're hoping to hire him for a job. We need his expertise.
Make a deception check. The
19.
the dwarf that spoke up the first time looks over at the other one and goes, "He's got a job already. Piss off."
Well, what would it take for us to, talk to him? I'm sure we could scratch your backs if you scratched ours.
Make a persuasion check.
19.
19. The
Very, very persuasive.
yes, apparently so. The harpies certainly seem to like you. He says, just hold on here a minute. I'll go see if he'd be wanting to talk to you.
Much appreciated.
And he kind of nods over at the other dwarf and then turns and heads into the cave. The dwarf that's remaining there says, "What sort of a job are you looking to hire for?"
Well, we hear he has certain architecture skills, and we're adventurers, as you can see, and we have a certain place that he might have been involved in the creation of, and we're looking to get his expertise on that.
So you're looking to hire him for a job that's already been done.
Well, for information on the place, really.
I
See, the
see.
owner of the place, he died and left it to his son, but unfortunately, we don't have more details than that. He never really told his son exactly what the place was. So we figure if we help out him and we get the expertise of Red Gagger and get some more details, hopefully we can get the son his proper inheritance.
Interesting. So he just kind of spends the rest of at the time just kind of arms folded, just looking back and forth between the four of you.
I can wait. I'll
I
fold my arms as
smile
well.
very widely at him, and all you see is just the shine of my teeth from my head.
That's not creepy at all.
I have
Charmed.
very, very good dental hygiene. And that is all that you can see.
All right. So after a few minutes of Sivan's dental hygiene showcase, the first dwarf comes back, and following him is another dwarf who looks a bit older. He's got a long beard that is thick and black and goes down to halfway down his chest, but you can see there's a fair bit of gray that's grown into his beard, and he looks over the lot of you. I'm Rick Geiger. What can I do for you?
Well, we were hoping you could help us out with the job we're on, and we could use your services for that.
He says, what is it you need from me?
Well, you did a job probably a couple dozen years ago, and we're hoping that you could give us some
50
more
years
information
ago.
on that. 50 years ago.
He kind of huffs a little bit and he says, I've done a few jobs over the past 200 years. You want to be a bit more specific?
Once I can look up what that guy's name is, yes.
Creed
Oh, but he
Perch?
might have been. Yeah, but he might have been going by a different name, right? That's what we came up with. I guess we go with Creed Perch. Yeah. So, did you do a job for a guy by the name of Creed Perch?
He furrows his brow for a minute. I've done a lot of jobs for a lot of people, kid. Can't say I know that name.
What about Razorfall?
His eyes immediately go wide when you say that. Now, where did you hear that name? See,
You cut out what?
he says, now where did you hear that name?
From our employer.
And your employer is this Creed Perch?
His son. Creed Perch is dead.
Well, I certainly know of Razorfall, but it was not built for a Creed or any other Perch.
Oh yeah,
Who
it
was it
was
built for?
that guy in the journal.
Nero?
What was his name?
Do you know a Nero or a Nira?
He,
I think it was Reslin, something like that.
I don't know if we actually got that name.
yeah, that I
Oh.
mean, so that was in the title of the journal. I actually thought that name showed up in the journal itself, but technically it doesn't, so you wouldn't know that name.
But we have the journal, so we could hand it over to him to read.
Do we?
Or we have the pages, don't we?
Yes, you have the pages.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
Danny Boy gave you the pages.
Danny Boy. That's my next character's name is going to be Danny Boy.
But
Yeah.
actually, Sivan, as you say the name Nero or Nira, he you do see like a flash of recognition go across his face. Um, he kind of looks back to the other two guards, and he says, "Back to your watch, gentlemen." And then he kind of motions for the four to follow him a little ways away.
I follow.
Yeah, let's go.
Follow.
So are you producing the journal entries?
I think so. We could hand them over and get his thoughts on them.
Just one sec. Sorry.
So he he takes the journal entries and starts to peruse them. And as he comes across the reference to his name in the first journal entry, you kind of see him chuckle a little bit, and then he proceeds to read through the others. He says, "In these journal entries, they wound up in the hands of this Creed Perch.
Yes.
Well, I don't know who that is. This particular job was for a gentleman by the name of Reslinkine." That in the chat for you. He was an adventurer. Kind of did pretty well for himself, and as a result, he asked me to. He hired me to build a vault that he would be able to store his adventurer's earnings, if you will, in. Unfortunately, he passed away right around the time that we finished the vault. It's a very sad case. He caught some kind of a fever. Was just gone.
So the vault went to his son.
That I don't know. I know that his wife was pregnant at the time, and he talked about naming their child Hero. But as I said, around that time, we finished the job, and the contract was complete, and we moved on.
His wife. Do you know where she is? Or where she was?
He kind of rubs his beard for a minute. Lovely woman. Lenorin was her name. I did not keep in touch with her over the years, though I did hear that she remarried. Actually, she remarried a rather powerful lord in Mindrin, as I understand it. Lord Alwyn Urkarin. But as this was a professional relationship, I did not keep much up with the family over the years.
Have I heard of Alwyn Erkaren?
Make a history check.
Okay.
Spakly, you roll this, like,
I roll a history check as well.
yeah.
19.
16.
Okay. Spakly, you recognize this there's so Mindrin is governed by a council of it's what they call a magocracy. So the most powerful magical practitioners form a council that rules over Mindrin and reports back to ultimately to the king of Jindala. And so your memory of this Urkarin is you've heard him mentioned. He's not one of the ruling council members, but he's talked of as being potentially one of the next members of that council.
I think I've heard of him before. He's on the council, or no, he's not on the council yet, but he's on his way up, I think, from what I've heard.
I have heard he's doing pretty well, Frank.
Pretty what?
He says, I've heard he's done pretty well for.
So, can you give us more detail about where this Razorfall is?
He folds his arms again. Now think about it, Sonny. I build vaults for people to store riches in. Think about that. How long would I last in this field if I went and told anybody who came along and asked where these vaults were and how they could get into them?
That's a valid point. I respect that. What do we need to do to earn your trust?
It's not a question of trust. I'm bound by my contract to never reveal the location of a vault or the contents of it.
Bound by a contract to a dead man.
And by his passing with his family.
And if the family is not able to seek out this vault and hires adventurers, it would make sense to deal with those adventurers directly.
But you were not hired by the family of Reslin Kine. Now, were you? I don't know who this Creed is or how he got information on Reslin's vault.
Is there anything else you can tell us that would not breach your contract?
He says, just know that there are powerful protections on this vault, and you would do well not to go in there lightly if you do find such a place.
Good to know, thank you.
Now look, you seem decent people, and looks like you've been in a bit of a scrap, yes?
Just a little
Yes.
one.
He kind of looks to where the sun is starting to go down. You'll stay here with us tonight. You can head back to the city in the morning. Not safe to be wandering around the mountain after sunset.
That's mighty kind of you, sir.
Come on,
Sounds
then.
like a plan to me.
And he kind of motions with his head and walks back to the entrance of the cave. And inside, you see you see that there's quite a bit of construction going on. It seems that the crew of dwarves under Red Geiger is excavating an area here. They seem to be carving out an enormous cavern here. The area that they've cleared is maybe 20 feet by 20 feet, so it's not a huge area, but they've made up a camp there, and they have a few supplies and provisions around. He says, "You're welcome to wait here. We still have a few hours of work complete before we call it a day. But you're welcome to hang out here if you wish."
Works for us, I think.
I don't see why not.
Thank you for that offer. Out of curiosity, what are you trying to take out of these mountains?
He just kind of motions broadly, says gold, coal, saltpeter, all types of ore. These particular mountains, this area, are rich with veins of many types of different ore. That's why we've extended our mining over to this side. And he kind of points back at the mountain that you just crossed over. He says, "A few more months, and we'll have a proper supply line tunneling through that whole mountain, and we'll be able to increase the output of all the different types of ore that Mindrin can ship."
Speaking of tunnels, we saw one at the base of the mountain. Do you know what is in there?
More dwarves. They're working on tunneling their way through the mountain so that we don't have to spend hours and hours climbing up to get back and forth between here and the nearby mountains and the river.
Okay.
Makes sense. Definitely want to avoid those singing bird women or whatever they were.
Harpies.
You all ran across a harpy, did you?
And 2.
12 of them. And we defeated them valiantly.
He kind of chuckles and pats you on the shoulder. Sure you did, Missy.
When he pats me on the shoulder, I slap him off. You do not touch me.
Very well. My apology. Right, well, I'm gonna get back to work then. And he heads off. And you gather as you kind of look around that this particular cavern that they're working on carving out now is going to sort of serve as a base of operations for the mining on this side of the mountain that you just crossed.
Can we find somewhere that's sort of away from other people, or at least, not quite as many people around?
Yeah, I mean, so Red Geiger and his crew are kind of working. It's not a huge cavern, but you you gather that as long as you talk reasonably quietly among yourselves, they probably.
Okay. So, what's the plan? What do we think, guys?
What time is it?
It's getting towards sundown now. It's probably about 6 o'clock at night.
Well, considering what we encountered in the broad daylight, it may not be the best idea to travel at night through these mountains.
Yeah, I'd agree. It'd be nice to get a relatively safe sleep here before we headed out.
But then what? We hit a dead end, you know?
Not really. We find Alwyn Karen. We talk to him, talk to Lenoren, ask about her child, and how her child knows Creed.
I suspect Nero and Creed are the same person, but I have no proof, and I don't know how we could prove this to Redgagger, to where he would give us more information.
Well, he said that he did not know. He said that the child had not been born yet, right? That was what he said, yes? So perhaps instead of Nero, which was the plan if they had a boy, perhaps they had a girl, and the mother named her Nira, and then that is their long lost love of Creed. Then we find her,
Guess
perhaps.
that adds up.
And maybe Nira gave these pages to Creed for some reason.
Well, it would be her vault, would it not, with her father gone? Perhaps she wanted to give them to him, or give him something from them.
That
But
makes
we
sense.
either need to
Or
prove it.
maybe she wanted him to find them, and did not tell him about the trap so it would kill him. Maybe that is what happened.
Now, why'd she do
Maybe.
that?
Hmm?
Now, why would she go and do something like that?
There are plenty of reasons to want someone dead.
I mean, I guess I could see that, but why go to all that trouble?
For the drama. There is
Suppose.
something to be said about spectacle.
Well, that aside, I at least don't think I'm the kind of person who they'd let in just to talk to a lord of Mindrin.
Me neither.
I don't think they'll speak to me either.
Well, I guess it's up to me, but that is probably not the best idea, but I will do it.
Hmm.
I guess we have time to decide on a plan once we get there, huh?
And we can always check back in with Danvin if he has any kind of
Right.
pull in the city.
That is true. What does he do?
Don't know if we ever found that out exactly.
There are some questions we neglected to ask him.
He hires adventurers to follow after his dad professionally.
Well, he has the money to hire adventurers, so perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he has the connections that we need. So we bed here. We head back in the morning.
I think that is the plan.
All right, and so eventually the dwarves call it a night, and they break out their provisions and build a small fire there in the cavern. and offer to share a meal with you. And you, yeah, is there any discussion in particular you would have with the dwarves?
Cole might kind of ask if those harpies are common around here and what other kind of things they run into traveling back and forth.
He says, Red Geiger says, "Eh, the wilderness is, and the mountains are no walk in the park. There are a few different wild creatures that come across our path occasionally. We see the occasional goblin and even an owlbear here and there. But we take precautions to keep ourselves armed as we transport things, as we transport back and forth to the city, and we stay in relatively large packs to be able to fight off any creatures that fall upon us.
We happen to be headed back to Mindrin tomorrow. Do you need any other guards for your shipments? Is there a shipment scheduled for tomorrow?
He says, "Tell you what, if you wanted to take a cart back to the river, you would save my crew the effort of a trip." And he kind of points over, and you see a similar wagon to what you saw on the path earlier, and you get the impression from looking around, basically, as they're excavating the cavern there, as they come across ore that's valuable, they're basically dumping it in this wagon. So it's not a full-fledged mining operation, but as they're coming across, veins of ore that are just in their way anyway, they, this is basically Minecraft, right? They go ahead and set it aside for. Uh-oh, did we lose somebody?
Yeah, she's back.
I accidentally, with like the palm of my hand. I'm back though.
Okay. So yeah, he says, if you'd like to escort this load back, I can send one dwarf with you just to make sure that you're on the up and up, and it saves me sending a whole crew if you think you can take care of yourselves.
Oh, we can handle ourselves. And I'll show him the feathers from the harpy.
Where's the feathers from the other 11? He kind of looks over to Sivan.
Oh, we burned the rest of them.
Did you now?
Yes, this was a souvenir.
And ate them, I presume?
That would be disgusting. Why would you think I would do that?
He just gives a belly laugh.
And even someone like me would know what gold and coal are, but I've never heard of saltpeter before. What is that exactly?
It's another type of ore. It's used in I think it's used in the making of gunpowder and things of that sort. I'm not I don't have alchemical training, but that's my understanding.
For explosives, you mean?
Exactly.
And have you been shipping many cartloads of saltpeter to Mindrin recently?
Recently, no. We've been setting this up as our base of. We come across a little bit here and not in great abundance. As once we get set up, we'll certainly have we'll certainly find more.
I have a strange question for you. Have any of your workers
Um,
gone missing recently?
He furrows his brow. Um, it happens on occasion. Usually, when usually when if there's an attack on some transport crew, one might fall, but the rest bring him back and we bury him as necessary. But none have gone, say.
Okay, another strange, completely unrelated question. Do any of you follow Welena?
He um, he kind of rubs at his nose a little bit. That is a strange question.
I'm a
Can't
strange
say.
woman.
You can say that again.
I am a strange woman.
He says he says all different faiths are welcomed among our miners. Certainly, there are followers here of Velena and Benton, and even Frolin. Although most followers of Frolin are usually involved in the more magical endeavors in itself.
Hmm. I ask because I am a follower of Welena and I pull out my holy symbol. And I just wondered if I had any common ground with anyone here.
He says uh, there are a few, but I couldn't tell you who worships who. It's not a particularly devout bunch out here.
I see.
Cunning rocks. All right. Any other questions you would ask before hitting the sack?
Not that we can think of now, but I'm sure we will in the next session or two.
What was your name again? um, all right. So you all head to bed and wake up the next morning. Definitely sore, but having achieved a full long rest, so you can go ahead and reset your stats and spells and the like. Um, let's see who he's going to send with you. Red Geiger. Red Geiger, as you know, you wake up and you get a quick breakfast in the morning. Again, they share their provisions with you, and Red Geiger introduces you to another dwarf, a younger dwarf named Haddock. And he says, Haddock here will go with you back to the river, and he will report back if you try to make off with this load of ore. And if he goes missing, we will know, and we.
All right. Nice to meet you, Haddock. And
Have we
Cole
ever
will extend his
established
hand.
what? Sorry.
Oh, logistical question. How do I prepare spells on here? Or should I just like do that elsewhere and know what
There's
I
that
do
little
go-
circle to the left of the spell. If you click on that, it'll change to red and back.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Thank you. Great.
Oh, I thought that was something else. I thought there was some other way that you did. Okay.
It might be. That's just how
I
I've
believe
used it.
Yeah.
Well, that is how I will do it. Cool.
Ken, were you gonna ask something?
Yeah, I was just wondering, did we establish what we're doing this for, like money-wise? Or are we just doing this out of the kindness of our hearts?
He says he will give you 10 gold apiece.
That's not nothing.
Pretty generous.
We're
Is
headed that
it?
direction.
Well, yeah, I guess considering to the amount of work that I've done to get less than that.
You're in the big leagues now.
Seems that way.
Sure.
All right. So you're heading back on down the road?
Back up the mountain.
All right. So it's another long hike. You find that it's a lot of work at the stairs. Every time you get to a set of stairs, basically you have to stop, and there's ropes attached to the wagon, and basically you have to stand uphill and either pull the wagon up to the top along these grooves, or slowly, gently lower it down to the bottom, depending on whether you're going up the mountain or back down to get down these stairs. But for a temporary solution, it's actually pretty clever. And so you make your way. Actually, somebody roll me a d20. Just a flat d20.
2.
All right. Well,
Sorry, guys. I just killed us all.
12 harpies.
So according to the encounter table, that is 2 owl bears.
You ready to lose that other eye?
Well, if Alvin can take on one, I think we can handle two, right?
Give me just 1 second here.
What shall I kill them with next?
He's not just going to give us 40 gold for free.
I mean, I might have if you had not rolled abysmally.
Thanks.
Sorry, guys.
What is? What is this doing? That's really strange. Okay, so you all back at the river, without incident. I'll just pocket that too for later.
I don't like this.
So yeah, you arrive back at the river. There are dwarves there that are not only taking the ore from that's coming, the very little bit of ore that's coming from that mountain, but also is checking on and working on ore that's coming downstream from further up the mountain as well. But you all make your way back down into the outskirts of Mindrin. And where are you headed?
So did we get paid for that already? Or
Yeah, so Red something gave you
Red Gager.
yes, that one, what she said. He gave you well, actually, what's his face? Haddock was able to just tell the other dwarves that you were hired by Regagar, and they saw to it that you each got 10 gold. So you can go ahead and add that to your inventories.
ooh. Well, y'all think it'd be good to go to Danvin or just waltz straight up to one of the fancy mansions? Try to find this noble guy.
Probably makes sense to try and shake whatever trees we can. Talk to Danvin first.
And maybe he's been keeping something from us.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, so let's head that way. To the blue house that Danvin lives in.
All right. You go to the blue house, and by now it is like late afternoon again. It's not a short trek to get to and from where Rick Gigar works. But you knock at the front door, and there's no response.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna knock again.
Okay. A moment goes by. Nothing.
Well,
Guess
suppose he might
possibly
still
not.
be.
I'm going to try the door. Will it open?
It is locked.
Suppose he might still be out working now.
If
Yeah,
only
we probably should have figured out what he did.
Are there neighbors?
Um, uh, I'm going to say, at the moment, thanks to your little two there, there's nobody around. Seems that you happened upon this neighborhood at a very quiet time.
Late afternoon.
Well, should we get something to eat and come back in a bit?
It's not a bad plan.
Sure, you guys do that. I want to see something. Not here, elsewhere.
Sorry, you're going where, Sivan?
I want to find the temple of Gwynlana.
Okay. So the other three of you are headed to a tavern.
Yeah, it works for me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Sivan, you actually presumably you've been would you have been visiting various temples? Would you have had that you would go to regularly? Or...
I don't think so. I think it is more of a personal connection, not something that I share with other people, even other people who also follow her.
Okay, gotcha. So you're not particularly familiar with any temple.
I do not think so, no.
Okay.
I may have visited once or twice, but it is not something that I do regularly.
Okay, got it. So you you ask around though, and I mean they're not on every corner, but so it takes you a little while, but you do eventually cross a temple that you've been told is dedicated to Wolena.
Okay, I want to go inside and see if I can find the I don't know what would the person who leads. Would it be a priest or rabbi or?
It would be some kind of a cleric or so you head inside. You see you see an older human woman standing. You're in like a sort of a lobby area, and you see an older human woman standing there, and she is talking to someone who is in the formal sort of armor and decoration of one of the city guards. Excuse me, one of the city guards of Mindrin, and they're not shouting at each other, but they're in a very conversation, and it's not quiet. And he is basically standing over her, and he's saying, if we find that you have been supporting any of these terrorist activities, you and every worshiper in here will be detained and questioned and thrown in jail. Do I make myself clear? And the woman the woman just is defiantly looking up at him, and she says, "Well, in all my years of service, I have never, ever been treated this way. You, you may leave and never come back." And he says, "Very well. If I do come back, I can assure you it will be with a entire squad of soldiers." And she says, "If that's what you feel you need to take on an woman, feel free." And he spins on his heel and moves to leave.
As he leaves, I am coming in. Yes,
Mhm.
I'm going to accidentally bump into him as he leaves and like really hit him hard on the shoulder. Accidentally. I'm not looking where I am going, and I am in such a rush to get to my worship.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of bump into him, and he looks over. "Watch where you're going."
My deepest apologies, sir. And I just keep walking.
Make a deception check.
Okay. 10.
All right. He gives you a dirty look,
I
and
smile. And that's all you can see. You can just see the teeth because of my incredible dental hygiene.
he says, "You would do well to be more careful and more respectful of the city guard."
I give him a salute. Then I say, yes, sir.
And he spins on his heel and heads out.
I go up to the other room. I say, what an asshole, right?
Sorry, you turned robotic there. What did you say?
I go up to the woman and say, what an asshole, right?
That's certainly one way of describing him.
What was he talking about?
Well, it seems that many of the servants of our dear lady have been rather harassed today. You heard of this incident that happened yesterday?
I did, yes.
Well, apparently, the city is taking that to mean that all followers of Wilena have suddenly gone mad and are purporting to terrorize the city.
Based on the actions of one cowardly man. Sounds about right.
It would seem so. But
Has
anyway,
this ever
dear,
happened before?
she kind of puts up a hand and she says, "But anyway, dear, this is not to be burdening. Please, how can I help you?"
I just came. I'm new in town, and I just wanted to be around people of a like mind.
Certainly. Would you like to come in and pray for a while?
Sure.
Please, this way. And she guides you to basically what would be like a sanctuary room, where there are pews, and people have the opportunity to go in uh, and sit quietly in prayer and meditation to Wilena.
Okay. I will go in. I will sit and take out my holy symbol. I will meditate for maybe 10 minutes, and I'm going to wait and watch to see if anyone starts to leave. And if they do, I want to get up and try and talk to them.
Okay. Um, Uh, yeah. So there's only about 3 people in the sanctuary at the time when you come in. Um, During the course of the 10 minutes, about 2 more people walk in at different times, but nobody particularly leaves.
Okay. Are hmm. Where did the other woman go?
Once you sat down and settled, she just kind of said, "Please let me know if you headed back out the way you came in."
Okay. And no one gets up and leaves.
What was that?
No one gets up and leaves.
No.
During the time that I'm sitting there.
No.
Okay. So, well, now I know where this is. If I need to come back, I can. I guess I will finish up. I will walk back out. I will catch her, and I say, just a quick question. I'm sorry, I can't help but be curious. Did you see the symbol that they painted? The people who did this horrible thing.
She says, I haven't seen it personally, but I've heard it's quite the word I'm looking for.
Gruesome,
Yes, that's certainly
corrupted, perhaps.
yes. That's
You've heard
certainly fair.
you've heard of it before yesterday?
Not no. I
No.
just people have been talking today.
Okay. I just thought I would ask. It was deeply disturbing.
It certainly is disturbing to see the faith of our dear lady to the back to the sanctuary violated in such a way.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your time. I think you will be seeing me again.
Of course, you are certainly welcome back anytime.
What was your name?
1 second. I love fantasynamegenerators.com.
Oh yeah.
Where'd my pencil go?
Oh, my name is
Oh,
Natha.
Natha?
Natha.
I found it. Cool. Pleasure to meet you, Natha. I'm Sivan.
Likewise. Now, go and be free, which would be a common thing among
Okay.
yeah.
Is
Among
there a
shepherds.
common response? Do you just say it back?
You just say it back, yeah.
Okay, so go and be free. I think my dog listened to me and she jumped off the couch when I said that. Sophie, come back! Now she's running upstairs. She doesn't love me.
Look what you did, Andrew.
Oh. The next religious phrase that I introduce is going to be bad dog.
No.
The other one is going to be walk.
Best dog.
Oh, I'm sorry. Give her squitches for me. Her or him.
I will.
All right. Meanwhile, gentlemen.
Yeah, and I'll head back towards
Okay.
wherever they are.
Yeah. So meanwhile, what have the 3 of you been up to? You go and it's not hard to find a tavern nearby there. Anything in particular you want to get up to?
food, I guess.
Yeah, food and
Light.
some ale.
Shots with all
Yeah.
the recycle that we just got, buying around the shots.
There you go. It's payday. Okay. Yeah, I mean, nothing particularly exciting happens to you. Probably, I'd say 45 minutes to an hour later, Savan comes back and is able to find you all pretty quickly. You're at the tavern to Danvin's house.
Well, hey, welcome back.
Thank you.
So, how'd it go? Whatever you were doing.
Wonderful.
Fair enough.
How did this go? How is the... Did you guys do shots?
One or
You're
two.
not coming in like you were earlier, Derilium. I can't hardly hear you on my end, anyways.
Oh, I'm hearing her okay.
Hello, hello. Test, test.
You're fine.
You can't
Fine
hear
for
her,
me
Tanner?
at least.
Is it just me?
I think so.
Seems like it.
Do you want me to talk louder?
No.
You're all coming in like a phone call now.
Oh no.
Nope, you just. I think it might be your internet.
And there he goes.
Hi.
Crappy hotel Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony.
Little Tony.
How about now? We any better?
Oh,
Nope,
now we
I didn't
can't hear
what
you.
just said.
Oh, I heard.
It's working now. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. All
Yeah.
right.
We just got some supper. It was all right.
Good. Is there anything left on any of their plates? No, nothing.
No.
There might be some scraps on my plate.
Yeah, maybe Supaklu.
Probably some vegetables on my plate that I didn't touch.
Okay. I want to very discreetly take one and eat it. Because I can.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Oh.
Natural 20!
Using those valuable 20s.
And I wasted it on stealing broccoli from you.
Yeah, Supakli, you as you guys are sitting there chatting, at one point you look down and you thought there were still a couple pieces of broccoli on your plate. Gone now.
Weird. I have been doing shots though, so maybe it's that.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been much worse if she had stolen a shot.
And there he goes again.
Hi, Tony. Hi, Tony.
Can you hear us?
Hello?
I can. I think it's because
Okay.
I'm getting phone calls is the issue. Sorry.
Oh, you're too
Oh,
popular.
you-
Leave you alone.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. Okay. So you eventually heading back over to his house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go over and knock again, and this time after a moment goes by, and he comes to the door. Oh, you've returned. Please come in.
Thank you.
Go in.
What have you news?
We have a new lead. Do you know of an Alwyn Erkaren?
He says, I've heard the name. He's one of the nobles in the city. What does he have to do with my father?
So,
We are not entirely sure yet, but he has something to do with the, perhaps, with the journal pages that you gave us. What is it you do?
He says, he says, well, I organize and manage the messenger service that runs out of the East Gate here. I've been I went to school and was trained for management, and I've been tasked with keeping track of all the messengers and making sure that they have everything that they need to go to and from, particularly the capital. And yeah, so all the messengers that work for the city work for me.
Huh. So then you probably know where we can find Alwyn Erkaren. Or know someone who knows.
He thinks for a moment, and I might be able to make a connection for you. I don't understand what is his connection to my father.
so don't know how it works with your father, but a guy who owned this journal, the Reslin was his name. Turns out he made a vault, and then he died, and his wife married Alwyn Erkaren. We think her child was this Nira person.
Or Nero, depending.
That too.
He kind of nods very slowly, kind of taking it all in. And how did my father come into possession of this journal?
That is something we would like to find out.
I see.
Perhaps if we do find Nira, she can tell us.
Very well. Well, I certainly don't rub shoulders that at the level of Lord Arkarin, but I can try. I will see what I can do. Why don't you all come back at the end of the day? We'll see what I've been able to manage.
So, did you say end of the day tomorrow? You cut out
Yes.
for a second. Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds like a plan.
What and he kind of looks at the healing wounds on Sapaklu's arm. I imagine there's like a gash across his arm, something that's, you know, from the healing overnight and such. It's, you know, certainly better than it was, but you can tell that you were in a fight. How did you come by this information?
We defeat.
We what?
You cut
Cut
out
off.
there.
Never mind.
It was
Yeah, I
very funny,
figured.
whatever it was.
I thought he was going to ask what happened, so I was going to come up with something even more outlandish, but that wasn't what he asked.
Well, I mean, by implication, that's what he's.
Yeah, we headed up into the mountains and found this Red Gagger fellow and spoke to him about it, and ran into some harpies, I think they were called, on the way
20
up.
of them.
His eyes just go like huge. I've never talked to somebody that fought even one harpy. How did you kill 20 of them?
We are very talented adventurers.
Clearly, you've. I'm truly impressed.
As you should be.
Um, well, that sounds like quite the adventure.
Oh, it was.
All right. Well, yes. Come back at see what connection I can make, and we will go from there. I assume.
Sounds like a plan. Anything else happen around here, or you come across anything while we were gone?
I just have been working all day. Unfortunately, life goes on, right? It's just been a normal day of work for me. Oh,
My
Puppers is
dog
back.
came back, guys.
Oh,
Look at her
good.
face.
You know what they say: if you love something, tell it to be free.
Yeah.
Something
Guess
like
she
that.
really loves me.
Oh.
Now let's do another call and response. Do you want to go for a walk?
All right. Well, on that note, it is 10 o'clock. So let's wrap up for the night.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for playing. I felt like that went a lot smoother than last week.
I think you're the only person that thought last week wasn't smooth.
I mean, yeah.
You're your own biggest critic, Andrew.
Yeah, I know.
I can't believe we beat 25 harpies.
Yeah.
30 by my count.
And yet you're still
I'm just
level
gonna
1.
add 10 every time we tell the story. Eventually, we beat 100 harpies single-handedly with one blow.
Nice. Oh, good stuff.
Yeah, it was a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Sorry for the logistic difficulties on my end, but
Oh, that happens.
Yeah, and it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. I hope you were able to follow along and keep up okay.
yeah, well, I think I did. That's just my connection. I think sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And see.
Yeah, well, over the course of the week, we out what you want to do over the next day before you go back to see Danvin again. kind of let me know where you're thinking of going, so I can make plans. And yeah, everybody good for next Sunday?
Yep.
Yep.
Good deal.
Oh wait. Next Sunday is Father's Day, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes, it is.
I guess I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be an issue. I don't know. I
Okay.
think it'll be fine. I'll let you know if I can't make it.
Okay.
But if
All
you
right,
don't
yeah,
hear from
it's
me,
posted.
assume that I can.
All right. Sounds good.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Well, thanks again for playing.
Make sure to
and I
kill
will
Craig.
All right.
Yes, I will go and do that now.
Rest in peace, Craig.
All right. Bye, everybody.
All right.
Alright.
Good night.